Welcome back to another episode of New Earth Rhythm. This is the first episode of 2025. Happy New Year. And today is January 4th. I'm super excited to talk about your personal year number. This is something I just went like such a deep dive in this the last few days, understanding what my own personal year number is for 2025 and what that means. And it's really allowing me to shape the next 12 months of my life, planning out the next 12 months of my life, the next 5 years of my life through this lens of personal year number. And it really blends intuition with practicality. So I feel like it's this huge life hack. And I've always known about personal year number, but I never took it too seriously until now. And so you get your personal year number by adding up the birth month and then your birth date. And then you add it to the number 9 because 2025 is a number 9 year because you add up 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. Okay, so we have 9, right? And then let's say my birthday is 2/27, February 27th. So I'm adding 2 plus 2 plus 7, that equals 11. And then you want to reduce it to one single digit. So then 11, I would add 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then I'm going to add that to 9. So 9 plus 2 is 11 again. And then 11 is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Does that make sense? Are you confused? It's okay. Just pause this and Google calculate my personal year number. You're just adding up your birth month, your birth date, to the year to number 9, and you're reducing everything to one single digit. So your personal year number is either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay. So you're reducing it all to one single digit. And then that holds a frequency that maps and shapes out your next 12 months. And this shit proves itself. Okay. It proves itself because you'll look back on 2024. So for me, 2024 was a personal year number 1. And when I tell you, like, it really was like the themes of a personal year number 1, it is exactly what I experienced. Okay. Because number 1, it is all about new beginnings, independence, and laying the foundation for the next 9-year cycle of your life. And that was the first full year of motherhood for me, first full year of marriage, first full year where I really got my business to this next new level and, gained this new layer of financial independence. And I just worked my booty off. Like personal year number 1 is a lot of hard work because it is opening up the door to a brand new cycle. And when I tell you, like, I worked my booty off every nap time, I was working. Every time baby would go nap, I'd be working. I never really took much rest. And then personally, year number 2 that I'm in now, it's actually all about rest and stability and balance, emotional maturity, patience, and just fostering relationships and sort of laying the groundwork. Okay, so I want you to figure out what your personal year number is right now. And then let's go through all 9 together. Okay, so as I said, if you're in a personal year number 1, congratulations. You are just coming off the back of ending out a cycle. Okay, that means that the year before this was a year number 9, which we'll get into at the end. But that's all about endings, wrapping up a chapter, and transformations. So you just went through this death and transformation. And now, personally, year number 1 is like your rebirth. You're being born again into a new cycle. You're finding this new level of independence and taking ownership and authority of your life. And it's all about planting seeds, nurturing your seeds, watching them grow. And it's just all about it's just all about new beginnings in every sense of the word. Okay, so that's our year 1. And now, if you're in a year 2, it's like, okay, year 2, you just had this death, rebirth, transformation. And now you've done so much work over these last few years. Now, like I said, you get to almost rest in that hard work, sort of now nurture and watch it grow. And now focus on being more interdependent. This is an emphasis on your relationships. This is an emphasis on creating balance and harmony and actually being of service to others, being the backbone for others. This is when you're really going to become relied on by others. Okay. So if year one is all about independence, year two is all about interdependence, harmony, balance. And then it's all about patience. It's all about resting. It's like you've just done so much the last 2, 3 years. Your soul, your body, your spirit really needs year two to fully like rest and recover and lean back, be held by the universe, bring in this level of trust because, oh, something big is coming for you next year. But this year, relax, rest, be of service to others, be there for others, focus on your relationships, and you've reached this new level of emotional maturity. Congratulations. It's all about like laying the groundwork for maturity and responsibility that's going to serve you in the years to come. So if you're moving now into a year three, this is all about creative expansion, joy, expression, like creative expression. This is a year where you're really going to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to just have this surge of authenticity and creativity and taking inspired creative action and expand out your projects, expand beyond your limits. And it's just going to be a really fun and exciting year for you. Okay, now if you're in a year four, this is all about laying solid foundations, and this is all about financial stability. So it's like if year three, you really flourished and you grew a project, you grew a business, you grew an aspect of your life. The next following year is when you're really going to get these rock solid foundations on that expansion. You expanded out, and now we need to root in and really deepen the roots of this, lay stability so that it can last. You're building something to last. Winston. So you're really building something to last. And this is all about financial stability and really like hard work. And you're going to look back years from now and understand that your year four is where you really laid the foundations. And you're going to look back and be like, oh shit, it really all began then. That's when the ball was rolling without me really realizing it, because it was all about hard work. Now, if you're in a year five, it's like, okay, you've had the hard work now of your year four, and year five is all about adventure, freedom, scaling, and taking risks and making changes. Okay. So if the previous year was all about that stability and growing something to last, you can trust that you've built something really solid and steady, that now you can take a risk. Now you can bring in, an exciting new opportunity or pivot and take it in a new direction and take risks and be adventurous and be more free spirited and challenge your make it boundlessness. Like, don't be so restricted, don't feel so contained. Like, you have built something really strong, you've done what was working, and you've like enhanced it, and you've really got it going down to a science. But now it's time to blow it out and make it big and bring in more adventure, because it's through these experiences and through these changes and meeting new people and trying new things that's going to help us continue to grow and evolve. Okay, so now the following year, if you're in a year six, this is all about nurturing family, love, and harmony. So the emphasis is back home. Okay, so if you think about how this story is unfolding, year three was about expanding and getting it out there and creativity. Year four was about the stability and making sure that that expansion is really grounded and rooted and locked in. That's going to bring you that financial stability. Year five is all about, taking new risks, getting it out there, making it bigger and expanding it out even bigger and bringing in more adventure. And then it's like, okay, year six, you come back home. So all that other energy was so expanding and growing to outside influences and projects. And then year six is like coming back home to yourself, watering your garden, watering your own cup, and watering your family. It's like an emphasis on family, home, coming back home to yourself, big emphasis on love and on your family and your love and your closest, deepest relationships and nurturing and nourishing family. I love it. And then year 7, if you're in a year 7, this is all about introspection and spiritual alignment. So this could be a year of really not expending so much of your energy in the outer world and in your outer projects and in your outer businesses, but really more tending to your spirit and seeing, after all of this development and growth and transformation and nurturing and growing and building and expanding, that's brought your soul to this next level that you're ready to like make a complete quantum leap into a higher expression of yourself. Think about how much you have just learned and have grown over these last 7 years, ever since this new cycle. Well, now your soul has reached this new elevated level, but you need to fully understand what that is. So this year requires a lot of introspection, reflection, self discovery, allowing your interests and your passions and whatever your soul is calling you to do, allowing yourself the time and energy to follow that self discovery because it's leading you to the next big thing. So, allowing yourself that soul development year, that self discovery year. 7 is all about alignment. Okay, so now we're in a year 8. If you're in a year 8, this is all about power, manifestation, personal authority. It's like, okay, think about all this experience and transformation you just had over the last 7 years. And then if you really took time in year 7 to find that personal alignment, you have just quantum leaped into a more elevated version of yourself and you're owning that. Now your year 8 is all about manifestation, like stepping into your role as this powerful magician, as the creator of your life. And this is like a new level of financial gain. This is all about abundance. Like this could be like the most leisurely, luxurious year of your life because things are coming to you like a magnet. You are manifesting your highest timeline, what is right for you at rapid speeds. You are welcoming and holding so much more financial responsibility, and you can hold more money and more wealth and more power. This year is all about power. Like if you're in a year 8 right now, freaking own it because you've done the hard work since this last cycle. Look at what you've been building. Look at what you have accomplished. Look at all the death and rebirth and expansion and creativity and inspired action, but then watering your home and nurturing your relationships. Like you have found this balance and this peace within, and you found this alignment and you have elevated. And now it's like you own that shit. Like you go ahead and manifest your dream life and reap the financial rewards that come with all of your hard work. And then if you're in a personal year number 9, this is all about completion, release, transformation. Look at all of this incredible, reflect back on the last 9 years, everything you have created since year 1. What needs to be released now? What no longer is in alignment with you? What version of yourself needs to die now so that you can be reborn into something completely new? So it's time to release, people that no longer align with you after this 9-year cycle, jobs that no longer align with you, habits, patterns that no longer align with who you are now because you are transforming. This is a year of death. This is a year of, ego death, like death and to be reborn. You are a phoenix. This is a year of rising, rising from the ashes and letting go of who you are not so that you can step into this new version and this new cycle, this new life cycle of who you were born to be. And that's now catapulting you back into year 1, all about renewals, new beginnings. And you'll notice that everything in your outer world is reflecting this frequency of the energy of your personal year. So guys, when I tell you that I was in tears when I realized that 2024 was year 1 for me, first year of motherhood, first year of marriage. I was just so happy and, in awe of this beautiful new cycle that I'm embarking on. And I was thinking about the previous year, 2023, was just a year 9 for me. And I was pregnant for 9 months of that year. And it was just so perfect. It's so beautiful. The very essence of being pregnant is death and rebirth. It is transformation. It was a death of who I was, my maiden self, my independent self, the version of me that could do anything at any time, go anywhere. I was so free. I was so powerful. And I never thought about anybody but myself when it came to making decisions and doing what was in alignment with what I wanted. That is such a year 9. Like that version of me did die. And then I gave birth to my precious child, and I gave birth to Mother Lisa. And her and I were born in the same exact moment. And it's just like, it's so beautiful when I saw it written out like that. And I was just in tears because it was so beautiful. And then if I think about the previous year, 2022, that was a year number 8 for me, which is all about manifestation and personal authority and power. And 2022 was the most powerful year of my entire life. I was living in LA. I've never felt so much like myself. I was living in alignment with my energy as a manifester, as a leader, as a spiritual teacher, as a healer, as this wild, wise woman, badass, dancing, going out to live music every single night, dancing all over the town. I felt so magical. I felt so beautiful. I've never felt so beautiful in my entire life than I did in 2022. I feel so beautiful now as a mother, but 2022 was just this different level of power for me and of manifestation. And I was calling in my husband and the father of my children. And I met Nathan that year. And I manifested that because I felt so powerful. I felt so ready for it. And I was like a master manifester that year. And then if I think about 2021, that was a year number 7 for me, which is all about reflection and alignment. Like when I tell you that I quit my career, I was business development for this really awesome company. I was like, we're the middleman between charities and connecting them to marketing teams. And I was the business development manager for that. And I was doing so well. I really loved my team. I really loved everything. I was in a really great role for myself, and I did have this stability, but it wasn't in alignment. I knew that I'm a healer, and I knew that I'm supposed to be a spiritual teacher and a guide. And I just no longer wanted to not waste. I just no longer wanted to give any of my time and energy to another job or another corporation that wasn't completely in alignment with my soul. So I quit my job, and everyone told me not to, but I was like, no one tells me what to do. I do what I want. So I quit my career, quit my job. Then I drove solo across the country on my own trip. I stopped at all these amazing places along the way. The whole drive, I was listening to the Gene Keys audiobook. I was also like smoking J's, and I was just having these like crazy epiphanies and realizations and insights. It was like this quantum healing, me taking this journey. I was leaning all the way into my power as a manifester and as this independent, wild woman that is fearless and adventurous. And I was really like, that's when I dedicated myself to learning the Gene Keys and learning human design by experimenting with human design. I knew the concepts of me being a manifester, me being limitless, and me being an initiator, me being powerful. Then I put it to the test by actually living and taking steps and inspired action that was in alignment with my energy. It was just all about self-discovery, and it was all about this reflection and personal spiritual alignment. And when I was like reading that, I'm like, oh shit, it's too perfect. And then if we look at the year 2020, that was year 6 for me. 2020, we have the pandemic. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, in New York City. I was very deeply unhappy. Like I couldn't save any money. I was really struggling. I was spending so much money on alcohol. I was going out drinking every single night. It was just like really not healthy for me to be in the city, but my ego and my pride wouldn't leave, even though I knew that I shouldn't be there. So once the pandemic came along, my lease in Brooklyn was up, and I decided now's my moment. Let me just move back home to my parents' house. I think I was like 26 years old. I'm like, let me move back home to my parents' house in Westchester. And it was so beautiful. I like reconnected with my parents, with my siblings. It was like this deep inner child healing. It was this strengthening of our family again, because we all haven't lived together under the same roof. in a long time. And it was like a really beautiful moment of our family and strengthening our family. And it was also like, I call it my renaissance. This is when I reconnected with my best friends from home. And just the most important thing was nurturing my home and my family and my friends. And that's exactly what a year six is. So when I'm reading this the other night, I'm just like, again, in tears. Like it was too beautiful. It was too perfect. And we'll take you back one more year. So 2019, that was a personal year number 5 for me, which is all about scaling, adventure, and freedom. And this is when I was running around New York City. I was, this is when I was just like very new into my spiritual awakening. I had my Kundalini awakening 2 years prior, and I was just like beginning my spiritual journey. But at this point, I was more deeply in it. Like I was really fully trusting myself and my intuition. And I was like just like bopping around New York City. Like I get out of work and then I'd go walk and dance around. I get my headphones in. I'd be smoking and I'd just be dancing around the city. I never felt so free. I felt so powerful. I felt so free. I felt so beautiful. And it was more like introspective and like learning all of this, all of these different rabbit holes that have become my foundation of who I am today as a spiritual teacher and as a healer. So you guys get the point. Thank you for coming back on that journey with me because it proves itself. When I look back on the last 5, 6 years and I see how that perfectly aligns with my personal year number, I'm like, damn, this really is down to a science. And then I mapped out the next 5 years of my life and I could see how everything is falling into place. I could even feel into when I could possibly get pregnant again and have a baby for myself again. And I was just like, just in awe of how for the first time in my life I actually have a 5 year plan. Like becoming a mother and last year being that personal year number 1 for me, I really was born into this new elevated version of myself who's actually mature because I have to be. I feel like I'm actually an adult now and I actually have long-term goals. I actually have a 5 year plan. But now that I have it mapped out through this lens of personal year number, it's just so beautiful, so empowering, and so inspiring for me to actually know how to blend my intuition, my intuitive flow. That's how I like to live my life, is this divine feminine intuitive flow, intuition, but also bringing in this practicality, being reasonable, being realistic about what I am capable of and how much I can handle and what I can take on my plate for this year. And now that I can see it through this lens of personal year number, everything just makes perfect sense for me. I'm bringing in this level of patience and just real, being reasonable about what's really in store for me over these next 5 years. And I just feel so empowered by this. I feel so excited about this. I feel so at peace about this. And again, it's like perfectly in tune with me having a personal year number 2, which is about patience, which is about like nurturing. It's like, okay, I have such a brilliant idea about this business that I want to start. And I was telling my husband all about it. And he was like so on board. We were so excited about this. But then I'm like, you know what? It's not in the cards for us this year. That's more of a year 2026 when I'm in a year 3. That's the time for me to pop off on a new business because that's all about creativity. I'm going to pour all my creativity into this new business. It's going to be my baby. It's going to be fun. It's going to be joyful. It's going to be expansive. That's the kind of energy that's required for me to start this new business because it's going to be extremely demanding and draining. It's going to be very tiring, especially managing that with having a toddler. It's going to be very demanding and draining, but I'm going to be coming off the back of this year 2, which is going to be extremely rejuvenating for me. And it's going to be really balancing for me. And I'm laying the foundations to do that business properly because I'm giving myself an entire year to really do it properly and to set it up properly, to make sure that all of my ducks are in a row, to do everything just like in the right divine timing without forcing anything or, overexpending my energy to get something going. I'm just feeling into it. I'm like, oh, I just like know that I can actually really take my time and do it right. So that by 2026, when I'm ready, I'll be like fully ready and it'll be more fun and joyful. So, whew, your girl's stoked. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to talk about this for a few days, but this was the perfect moment for me to sit down right now and get this out, feel into your story, what's unfolding for you, go ahead and write this down in your phone, on in your journal. Write out what the last 5 years had for you and what the next coming 5 years look like, and see how this story is unfolding, and live in harmony with this natural rhythm that is unfolding for you. There is a hidden higher purpose that is unfolding, that reveals itself in successive steps. This is living in harmony with the cycles of life. This is the divine feminine way matched with the divine masculine way of structure, of organization, but then the divine feminine of intuitive flow. This feels like the most perfect balance. This is how I'm going to do my life from here on out. I'm going to incorporate this into my quantum coaching. I'm going to incorporate this into everything. I'm going to tell everyone who will listen, because this is just chef's kiss, life hack. I feel like I hit the nail on the head by taking this one seriously. It proves itself, and you'll see. So if you want to learn how to live more like in tune with the rhythms of life, rhythmic living is something I'm extremely passionate about, and I do weave it into my quantum coaching. So starting on February 1st, we have a 6-week quantum alignment group coaching program. I'm so excited about this. I am putting everything into this because this is like being birthed through me. I had all these ideas, I got it out, and I saw how it came together perfectly through this 6-week journey. We start on February 1st, which is in bulk. This is a powerful Celtic holiday, which is the halfway point between winter and spring. And this is all about renewal and rejuvenation, starting fresh. So if you want to make lasting shifts in your life, if you want to welcome transformation into your life, if you want to live in alignment, now, if you take action on in bulk on around February 1st, you're just, again, working in harmony with the natural flow of the universe. You're going to have all of this grace and power and energy to help support you in creating these lasting shifts by starting on February 1st. So it's 6 weeks. I show you how to use human design and gene keys to live in alignment with your unique energetic blueprint, and how to live in alignment with your Ayurveda dosha type, how to eat for you and your energy, how to eat for your body, how your body specifically digests food, so that we can live in alignment, mind, body, soul, and also how to live in alignment with rhythmic living, cyclical living. I'll teach you guys how to structure your weeks, your months, your years, that is perfectly in tune with the flow of the cosmos and of Mother Nature. This is total rhythmic living. This is so beautiful. And then it's not just the concepts that I'm going to take you guys through, it is the actual embodiment aspect of it. So whenever we have a conceptual teaching, it's followed by an energetic activation, an embodiment session, a rhythmic yoga, chakra yoga dance flow to really activate these energies within. It's all about embodiment. I have rebranded. It's no longer a line house. We are embodied radiance, because that's what it's all about, is embodying radiance, living in alignment and embodying all of these teachings. As you strive upwards in your consciousness, you're actually just becoming more deeply embodied. So check out my new website. It's embodied-radiance.com. Message me a line if you want more info on our 6-week journey coming up. Check out my website to see other ways to work with me one-on-one. If you want like a one-off human design session, a one-off gene key session, a one-off energy healing session, your girl is of service. I'm ready to go. I'm here to help you guys. I already feel more balanced in my life, in all areas of my life. And this year for me is really about being of service to others, really stepping more into this leadership role, this facilitator role, this guide role, to be there for others. So I have, changed my schedule around. I've got more support with baby. I'm feeling more balanced, more healthy. Your girl's going to the gym again. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. So are you. This is our time. Okay, let's go. If you're still listening, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for letting your authentic self shine. That's exactly what this world needs. This world needs you to be your most powerful, authentic, badass self. And that's what it's all about. And that also reminds me that on January 22nd to January 24th, there is this powerful free online event called the Authentically You Show. I was invited to be a guest speaker on there with incredible guest speakers. So it's all about living in alignment, living as your most authentic self to create harmony in your relationships, in work, in life. And it's an honor that I am a part of that, and I can't wait. So check out the link in my bio if you want to sign up and get your tickets for that as well. All right, sending you so much love. Mwah, 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 mwah. That's it. Peace out.